What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode. So this is some of my post-Hydra task grind. This is what I have been searching for. I think I explained a tad bit in the previous video that I am searching for black demons or greater demons in the catacombs, and I landed on graders. So I am working on doing about 60 to 70 totems in the bank. I have about 55 left. I've been doing a couple, and I wasn't doing the hard clues at first for just a couple, and then I realized it's probably too good of an opportunity to just mash out a ton of hard clues at once. So what I have here is I've been just doing some, and then I'm dropping them, and this is actually the first time that I've tried this, I guess, little method where you can drop a clue on the ground and it lasts for about an hour long. So clues remain on the ground for 1 hour, so as long as I come back and do them all within that hour, or at least just pick them up and rejuggle them, then they won't ever despawn on me. Also, this hour does not count down when you're logged out, I believe. I do think that whenever you're logged out, you literally don't even lose time on them. So you know, if it's right before you have to get off or go to sleep or whatever, you can literally just go juggle them and then go to whatever you have to do, go to work, go to sleep, come back, log in, and you should still see the clues on the ground, so as they are an untradeable item. I believe that works with a lot of untradeable items like marks of grace as well. I know when you do agility, sometimes you log out and you had just gotten a mark of grace from finishing the course, but you didn't really notice it yet because the red step for the next agility obstacle was far away, so you just logged out, went to sleep, then you log in like 10 hours later and you're like, oh, there was a mark of grace already on the ground or something. So kind of learned that, yeah, untradables stay spawned while you're logged out. So I'm working on Skatizo here, and obviously on task it's insanely valuable because otherwise you wouldn't be getting Slayer Helmet bonuses. This boss has extremely high defense, so I Dragon Warhammer spec, and I'm trying to just do a little bit of step under in between hits, so that way it's about a 2-to-1 ratio of me hitting him to him attacking me. Now he attacks with two styles. He attacks with magic and melee, and he will choose randomly if you're within melee distance. If you're at a distance from him outside of his melee range, then he will be forced to mage you. So you can't step away with Prey Mage, and it's guaranteed that he will mage you on your Prey Mage and take no damage. But because I have to melee him with the Arc Light, the best setup is to wear some high magic defense gear and then stand in melee distance and pray melee. So hopefully I'm a bit resistant to his magic attacks. So let's see if this clue is something I can do. Dig outside, okay. Aggies, sure. So we'll drop that there, and we'll just go right back. So I'm also working on alching while I'm doing this. There's so many expensive items that I have to alch, like rune items. I got these onyx bolts from Hydra. I'm getting more alchables just from this Skatizo, so like right there, a couple rune skirts, gotta alch them. And I'm actually getting roughly 40 onyx bolt tips per drop that he's given me here. So whenever I get that drop, I'm gonna have to make all those bolts with rune bolts and then alch them as well. You do get slightly more for enchanting them, but I think I might just bypass the enchanting this time. I don't know, we'll see how many hundreds of them that I get by the time I finish all these totems. Actually, probably would be quite a few. But yeah, I mean, I got nothing else to do here. My escape crystal is active, so I can't actively attend to many other accounts doing anything else, because then I might accidentally teleport out. I did already lose one totem because I misclicked this Fortis teleport right next to the Alk spell. Unfortunately, as soon as you exit this area, you lose that Skatizo kill. There's no way to re-enter here. So do not drop anything in here that you do not wish to lose forever. And do not telly out before you pick up all the loot. Because if you accidentally get out of here, you will never come back. And there you go. You see the 40 Onyx Bolt tips. So those are going to start to stack up a crazy amount here. Okay, what's this clue? Sure, we can do that, and then we just go right back. I'm dropping them all here at Varrock because this is my go-to bank typically. I'm going to be banking here quite often for, I don't know, supplies, different types of teleports. But the goal with this is to then bank most of my Skatizo items, like all this food, maybe some of these potions in general, and then hopefully have a full inventory sort of kitted out with just clue hunting gear. So, you know, I have my spade, Draymond staff, that'll have a dueling ring, a slayer ring, a games necklace, maybe a necklace of passage, all that stuff, because in order to carry all those items in your inventory for any potential hard clue step, you're flooding your inventory with a ton of equipment, and then killing Skatizo becomes kind of sketchy. Now I do have this one brew and restore down at the bottom that I will most likely never need because I typically kill him too fast. But if my hammers miss, then it does get a little dicey because he's super tanky. I'm out of spec, so I have no more opportunities to lower his defense, and the kill does take a long time. When the altars then start summoning, or spawning rather, then it just adds an additional layer of difficulty to it. Okay, Oziak. So, okay, so we got a few totems here. You know, I don't want to press it too much. This is already going to take a long time to do this many clues. So let's actually just drop that. So let's go and bank a lot of this gear. So what I want to pull out is my DDS. We'll go with the Serp Helm because typically I'll be fighting a lot of those Ceratomin minions. The Ceratomin wizard when you dig for these clue steps. So I will probably just rather have the anti-poison effect for that and then pray melee or something, pray mage. Okay, so we want a dual ring, games neck, slayer ring, anything else, cloak, might need the explorer's ring, sure, we'll just take it. Jagex talisman might be useful. I know there's some steps in Lovakang. I guess this book is good too. Then we might need the Royal Sea Pod. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of items that we might need. I know one in particular is the Mauritania Legs 3. So there's a lot of steps in Bergdarot, so typically you would need to teleport with these legs. So there, I have a nice array of items that I will most likely need for clues. So let's run the route here. Pretty much, if I get a deep wildy step, so there's a few steps that I won't do. And those are like deep wildy. So if it's like 55 wilderness, to where if I literally get in combat, then I can't log out, and then if I get attacked by a player, then I'm literally done for. I mean, there is a chance I could tank, but honestly, it's not even worth it. Hard clues are not even that rare, first off, so the few that I do get in deep wildy, I'll just end up dropping and not doing. Typically, gearing up for that entire, adventure where I'd have to have a full tank set up with 20 brews, 5 restores, wearing all my best in slot tank gear like Jagex. I mean, it would just be a hassle to get all that gear out and go do one step and then have to go back to Skatizo. So, okay, Spirit Tree, Gnome, Stronghold. So yeah, there's my 4 other clues. I guess I have 5 total now. You can't pick more than one up, I don't think. I actually should go try that. But yeah, this should be close to the last step here. This is a really, really long number. 112221. There we go. Okay. And there you go. So that's the first deep wildy step. Um, I just do not really care to risk this. So yeah, let's see if you can pick up multiple. No, you can't pick up multiple clues. So we'll drop that one way up there so we don't confuse it. And let's move on to the next one here. So, okay, that's going to be a fairy ring. I actually remembered I probably want a dig site pendant as well, because there's a couple clue steps. There's actually several on Fossil Island, so I should be able to just easily teleport with a necklace there. So, okay, so here's the first Ceradomin Wizard. So we'll just like pray, and then we'll spec him out. Nice strength bonus on the Serp as well. I don't really care about scales. As you can see, I'm fishing scales on the separate account here. And we're done. So I'm actually going to disable this because while I'm doing these, I don't really need that active. So I want to disable it. Oh, wow, wait. I just picked up a new one. Huh. Is that how it works? Oh my god, that's extremely broken then. That makes it so much better than to get a bad step here, because I just got a... Yeah, let me check. 0 steps. The steps carry over. Okay, I forgot about that working like that. I swear it didn't work like that, but that was before the clues lasted 60 minutes on the ground. Now that they last an hour on the ground, you can do this where you can juggle, and now actually if I get those deep wildy steps, I don't lose all my progress. I just lose the clue. I don't actually lose the progress, so I save a ton of time actually. So we will be stacking a lot of these caskets. I have like 50 some totems to do on this account still. So I will most likely be just stacking caskets. I actually looked up in the combat achievements. There's a single mimic combat achievement, and it just says kill 1 mimic. So me being kind of the completionist, I guess I'm gonna make myself do that. So I will go out to do one. Actually, see, it's gonna be multiple master clues. That's gonna be difficult. I think I just dropped a master clue because there was a 3-parter and 2 of those 3 steps where you have to get a third of the next clue scroll. It was like that cryptic one. 2 of the 3 steps were deep wildy, where I can't tell you out with the Royal Sea Pod. It's above 30. So I ended up just dropping it. I'm going to be disciplined. I'm not going to be doing all my clues in the wilderness. Okay. Wizard Tower. It's just not going to be worth it in the long run. All I need to do is 1 mimic kill for a combat achievement. They will most likely not be extending any type of combat achievements for the mimic. I mean, there's absolutely no way. Like, no current boss in the game will ever receive more combat achievements. If they've already made combat achievements for the boss, then it will typically never get new ones. The only new combat achievements will come out for new bosses. So, for example, Vorkath or Zulrah have specific combat achievements related to them. I have a Barra's Telly in my house. So these bosses, they have like, what, 7 or 8 combat achievements involved with them. Some are speed trialists. Some are just niche, combat achievements. Like one, you have to punch Vorkath with your fists, literally, to kill him. And then you get a combat achievement. They will never, even if like new weapons and stuff and new cool stuff comes out, they will never actually update like and add new combat achievements. So those bosses and any boss like the mimic will never receive more. So I just like to get this one out of the way and call it a day. So, okay, I'm at 4 steps, and now I've dropped that. I pick this one up, and it's at 4 steps. So it saves me a ton of time here, because normally the way it worked is I could only do one clue at a time, basically. And I would have to then just drop the clue if I got like black chins in the wilderness, like I just got, or the wilderness volcano, whatever it is. I'd have to drop that clue and then start with a full new one, and it would reset back to 0 steps completed. But it does look like I'm still at my 4 steps. This might actually just be casket right here. If it's not casket, then I'm at least on the 5th step, and there should only be one more. I believe hard clues are 4 to 5 steps each. Yeah, so instantly get another casket. That's nice. Saves me so much time, because honestly, some of these clues can take like 5 to 10 minutes. Most steps are pretty fast to get to, but there are definitely some like like the Dare Crand one where it's like all the way in sleep. There's the sleepy dungeon or whatever you want to call it. Up by Nightmare, you have to run literally like 2 to 3 minutes just to get up there. So, say I do that one, and then I do this one behind the PvP arena. Just any other thing, like then I go to Bergdarot, kill a Cerdamin wizard, go to Trollheim, kill another Cerdamin wizard. I've done 4 steps, and then I get a deep wildy step. Well, I would have to drop it, and I'd lose all of my progress. So all that time running around was wasted, but this update makes it extremely nice. So I definitely will enjoy doing this. They do kind of talk about doing like stackable clues. Okay, General Heining, that's Tyrus. It's the best way to get there. Guess just like Camelot or something. I don't know. But yeah, all the clue update that they made where they now last an hour. People are just like, well, why can't we just have stackable clues at this point? It's basically stackable clues. Now, the main difference, and I do understand that people view this as like similar to stackable clues. However, there is one key difference, and that is that I'm not able to take multiple clues with me at the same time. So, for example, see how much time I had to spend running to this step just to complete this clue step. I could kill 50 Skatizo, juggle all 50 clues on the ground. Yeah, it would take like a minute or two just to juggle them. But as long as they don't reset, I could then look at each one, and then if I get the same clue step for multiple ones, then I would take those clues to my destination and complete all of those clues at the same time. And so then it would be a big difference, right? Now you're talking about potentially taking every clue that has the same step to the same location, and then just talking to the NPC like for the 3 or 4 clues that have that step, and then you would get them all done at the same time. You'd basically go to one step, and if you had multiple steps there, you'd get like a full casket just from talking to that NPC. So there's a bit of a difference there. However, they are pulling it constantly. People keep asking for it. I do think it'll eventually come into the game. I think there just needs to be a cap. Let me know down in the comments what y'all think that this update should be like. If they do add stackable clues, should there be just like a cap? My personal opinion is there should just be a cap of 5. I think 5 is totally reasonable. You never really get more than 5 from doing, like, say you do a gargoyle task and you get a clue within the first 20 kills, you get another, so you drop it to juggle it, you get another one, you drop that, now you have 2 on the ground, you might get a third or even a fourth. I've seen people get like 3 or 4 on a task, but that's like really lucky, so really you're not going to get more than that. So why not just let players, okay, have a cap of 5 clues that you could hold. You could still get more if you were juggling more than some of them, but basically, if you were holding on to 4 clues because you were doing a huge Slayer task that drops hard clues, you could just kind of keep all 4 or 5 of them that you get from your Slayer task in your inventory, and then go smash them out all at the same time. I don't think you could really abuse east of the museum camp. I don't think you could really abuse the method that I previously just explained a minute ago, where you take all the clues of the same step to that same location and then do them all at once, because you only can only carry 5. Although that actually, now that I think about it, that does enable you to completely bypass that rule of not being able to do that. You actually now could, because you can hold on to up to 5 at once, but you would be allowed to juggle them still. So that juggling mechanic would still exist. So then what you'd be able to do is you'd be able to pick out the 4 or 5 that are the same step. But okay, then so in order to have stackable clues in your inventory, we have to enable players' ability to complete all of the same step at the same time. But honestly, if you're going to drop like 20 clues in a line and memorize which steps of which one are in that line, in that order. Oh my god, what is that clue? I don't even, that one was dropped there like a half hour ago, I guess. It's still there. So, okay, so I'm at 0 because I finished. Anyway, back to my point real quick. If you're going to allow players to do all the same steps at the same location by taking like 3 or 4 clues at the same time that have that step, if they're going to memorize the clues in a line that they're juggling, which steps have which, honestly, more power to them. It's extremely annoying. As I have just 2 or 3 laying on the ground here, and I still can't remember how that one got there. Imagine anything worse. Okay, but yeah, so we did all those clues. A couple steps were in the wildy, but we were able to resume at least the steps done and get the other ones a little bit quicker, so save a little bit of time there. Unfortunately, though, I will never get the caskets from these, so you do still lose 1 casket every time I have to drop one. However, I do get to save a little bit of progress on the next one. So, let's look at my caskets. So I actually don't have many yet. I just am now starting to do this, so I'm going to start stacking clues because I want to do the masters until I get a mimic, and then once I've done that, then I don't really care about doing masters. But I'm starting, so I have a stack here. I'm going to start with my easy, medium, hard, and then elite. It'll mostly be hards because I'm going to be doing another 50 totems here. So let me actually gear up for Skotizo yet again. I think the only 2 pieces of equipment I need to swap are my helmet and my arc light. So I'm going to bank the DDS, the SERP. I'm going to bank all this. I probably should have taken a screenshot of that setup. I can bank the spade, bank this. Technically I don't need the water runes yet, but that's fine. I'll just leave those. Get back out my super combat, a prey pot just in case, a couple anglers for food, bunch of Karambons, and then I'll take like 3 totem pieces. Okay, looks good. Let's re-enable this, and then we're back to the Skotizo grind. So I'll do like another 6 or 7 clues, then go start juggling them at the Grand Exchange. Do the same method. So this is how I guess I'm gonna be doing clues now. It's pretty chill actually. I used to say a lot of flack on clues. I never liked doing clues, and I don't think the rewards merit how much people obsess over them rather. But I guess with this method, I'm definitely gonna take advantage of it. That is massive that I get to, like, if I drop a hard clue because it's in the deep wildy, like 4 steps in, then I can resume that 4th step just on the next clue and basically get an instant casket from like one step definitely saves me a large bulk of the time that I would invest. So I'm going to be taking advantage of it. I still can't do those deep wildy steps, but you know, can't ask for everything. I wish there weren't as many deep wildy steps. Like it makes sense to send hardcores into the wildy some of the time, but just not as frequently as they want to. But clues have been out in the game forever. The game's not catered around being a hardcore Iron Man, so it's just the life you have to live with. So yeah, we'll be just doing a lot more Skotizo because I really want the base loot here. Like I just got, I get like 40 Onyx Bolt Tips per kill. That's like 350k I think total. He drops 150 Mahogany Planks, which will be useful for my con grind. He drops like 500 or something Blood Runes, Death Runes, Soul Runes. He drops Rune Bars. He drops a ton of Addy, which I guess would be nice for smithing. And he drops like Anglerfish. Again, not that big of a deal for me, but I figure I might as well get the rewards out of all my totems from doing 99 Slayer because they're just sitting in the bank otherwise. Torstals, Rainer Weeds, Snapdragons, all that good stuff. So definitely going to be utilizing these for sure. So let's look at this Dark Mage. See, I will go into the Wildy if it's just like a quick little safe event, not something that's going to keep me in the Wildy for a very long time like some of these steps do. Okay, so basically also what I'm doing is I'm like pulling out a lot of alks. I'm going to be doing some alking, trying to get through the rest of my alks. I will probably run out and then I will probably just stop alking. I do have a ton of magic longbows that I fletched, so although they're not strung, they would be technically worth alking still. I think they'll still alk for like 800 GP or something, but that's not that good. So I most likely won't care about alking them too much. Probably just either wait until some method to get bowstring becomes easier, or there's some other, or just eventually sell them to like shops. There's a lot of shops around the game where you can just sell things for like high alk value. Like people always talk about like the Karamja general store over there and like the West Arty general store. All these shops. There's actually the one in the Rogue's Den too. I think it's with Martin Thwaite. You can just sell like so what I've seen people do, the method is they pull out like all their stacks of items. They have like a nice like little tab made up for all the items they want to sell, like jewelry. So like if you make all your rubies and diamonds into bracelets because they have a high alk value, but you don't want to spend that much time sitting there alking them forever and ever, then what you can do is you'll pull out like the noted stacks, like a full inventory's worth, and then go to Martin Thwaite in the Rogue's Den and then sell, just like sell 10. So sell 10 of every single item in your inventory. You can get rid of like 10 of every stack that you have in your bank that you want to sell, up to like 28 because that's what you could hold in your inventory. And then basically it's a quick way to like get through. So that would be 28 times 10 because you can sell it so quick. You're pretty much getting through like 280 items that you would otherwise have to sit there and manually click each one, alking it. 280 alks done like basically instantly just for doing this method. So I do think it's good. You will lose a little bit. You'll probably lose like 20 to 30% of the alk value, but because you get like 300 done instantaneously basically, it saves you all of that time and effort. Mostly that time, just because like who has the time to sit there and alk thousands of like longbows and jewelry when you could just do this method, get the majority of the cash from it. So it's definitely a very nice Iron Man method. But yeah, so I will just be working on all these totems. Slowly killing Skatizo, doing some step under in between. Again, that just makes it so that I don't have to eat as much, because if I do get hit like a 30, I'm kind of obligated to eat because I don't want to sit on low health. My teleport crystal will go off, after 5 seconds, but I need to survive that 5 seconds. So if I'm sitting on low health and then I randomly disconnect, then I will be way less likely to actually survive the duration to have that teleport crystal save me. So, actually, funny story. I had a small, little close encounter, um, just the other day. It was after I recorded my Hydra task. So basically, I was like going to do something right, and this is how I lost one of my lives at Hellhounds, was being busy elsewhere, IRL and such. I stepped away at Hellhounds and I forgot to come back. My prayer ran out and I died because I didn't have the Ring of Life on. Well, I had an interesting scenario happen at. Oh, we got an elite too. That's cool. I had an interesting scenario occur at Hydra. So what happened at Hydra was basically. I'll go into detail on what actually happened. So I finished the kill. I'm picking up my loot and whatnot, and I'm like, okay, I gotta run real quick, but I don't want to telly out because I want to resume Hydra. I still had plenty of supplies in my inventory. So what I did was I started looting, picked up all my loot I made, because there's a huge stack of loot, so it takes you like 10 to 15 seconds just to figure out like what I want to pick up before I leave, because once I leave that instance, all that stuff's gone. And I didn't have Alks because I'm using the Arceus spellbook. So I had to pick and choose, like, do I want this rune, mystic staves, whatever. I ended up finally, okay, yeah, I got the items I wanted. I was like, okay, I'll just log out. I clicked the log out button and then just like literally walked away. Okay, I just went to the log out, I clicked, and then I literally just assumed I would log out and didn't look back. Come back like 20 minutes later, and my character's in Lumbridge. And I always have that mini panic attack when I see myself in Lumbridge after like walking away from the PC, because typically if I'm in Lumbee, it's because I died and I spawned there. So, but I was still hardcore. I look in the chat, it says that your escape crystal had safely teleported you out. And I'm like, that's weird. I had like 90 health, so I didn't even drop low. It's just that I guess what happened is I looked in the chat again, and there was a message that said, you cannot log out here. So even though I was able to log out, which I knew I was able to log out, I knew that I could log out because it hadn't been 10 seconds of combat, or I hadn't been in combat for 10 seconds. So I knew it wasn't because of combat, so I clicked the logout button and just assumed that it would work. Lo and behold, you cannot apparently log out in the Hydra instance. So you have to literally run over to the door and leave, and it's kind of annoying because the door actually locks on you, and you can't walk out when Hydra is alive. So you have to make it over there before he respawns. So it's kind of annoying, but I thought I could just log out on the spot there and it would teleport me like out of the instance, but apparently it did not. And my teleport crystal kicked in then when he spawned and started hitting me. So thank God for the teleport crystal. Would have been another death. Would have been the end of the hardcore group series had the escape crystal not existed, because I don't think that a Ring of Life would ever save me in Hydra. Hydra can hit like 20s to 30s, so you're most likely dead if you're trying to rely on a Ring of Life to tell you out between 1 to 9 HP. It's most likely not going to hit you into that threshold, and you're going to take like easily like a 30 to the face at like 20 health and just get one shot through the Ring of Life threshold. So yeah, bit of an interesting and unfortunate story. However, fortunately, the teleport crystal was active. I have it always set to at least like 4 or 5 seconds, and yeah, it teleported me out. So that would have been the end. But thankfully, that exists, and I now learned that I can't log out in there. So I won't try to. Obviously, it costs 75k, but I'd much rather, you know, use up 75k to learn that such a mechanic exists. Okay, so we've been stacking more and more hard clues. Look how many we're stacking. So should we do these? I guess we should. I'll probably end up stacking more of them. You know, yeah, you know what? Let's just keep stacking more because I have the full Skotizo set up. I'm geared up for Skotizo. I may as well send just a few more. Put a bunch on the ground. They last like a full hour. So, these aren't going to despawn by any means. So I'm not worried about that. And I want to just do a huge session where I bank like my food, my potions, and then I start sending like 10 clues worth of hard clues. So let's just keep stacking them. Oh, almost misclicked the telly there. And see, there you go, double hammer miss. So this could be a really sluggish kill. Arclight still does hit, obviously, because if it didn't, then I would never get the kill. But yeah, thankfully the Arclight is still shredding like straight 50s here. But it does tremendously help to have, yeah, wow, I'm just hitting like a madman. It does still help though to lower his defense with the Warhammer. It's definitely worth it. Even if just that first hammer lands, then I typically switch to Arclight, and then I'll even drop the next spec in with my Arclight because it's so much more likely to hit. The hammer, even though I already landed a hammer, is still kind of inaccurate and still might whiff. And then lowering its defense again with a hammer by 30%, it's diminishing returns, first off. Second off, it's already been lowered, so I'm already kind of good to go. As long as it's lower than his base defense, then I'm pretty safe at just having a nice clean kill. See, this is where the difference in the hammer really shows off, is all these zeros. They start like adding up, and just another zero, another zero. Okay, finally. Honestly, wasn't the slowest kill given that all the hammers missed, but those zeros at the end definitely show. So yeah, we'll be able to stack not only these hards, but the elites. So I have an elite clue over there, and I will do that elite as well. If I get another one from Skotizo, then I can do another one. And I'll be stacking all my caskets in preparation for a master clue grind. If I get a step that's like something crazy, like a skill that I don't have for the master, then I'm definitely going to grind the skill, because there will be so many masters that I have to drop because they're like deep wildy or something. And masters being like 7 to 9 steps or however many they are, they're ridiculous. They could be like 8 or 9 steps, I think. It's extremely likely that I get a master step that is not completable, either because I don't have the items, so there is some like, I believe you have to follow the bard specific items. I have the Armado helmet, I have a lot of these items, but some of them I do not. Like I never got a Zami hilt. I have almost 1,000 Zami KC, and I never got a Zamorak hilt, which is unfortunate because I could use that at Sarah. So I will actually have to go back and get more Greater Demon tasks. The fortunate thing is, though, is that if I somehow run out of Slayer points, I'm using a lot of skips to get Hydras and things like this in the catacombs to do Skotizo. I'm actually using a ton of my Slayer points. I'm getting some back, but definitely using more than I'm getting. And if I somehow run out, then I guess it's not that big of a deal to just go do off-task Zammy, given that I will most likely be on task with like at least 2 or 3 of the accounts. So I'll still be on task probably for the majority of the accounts. The other ones just wouldn't be. So I can still go back to Zammy. It is a rare drop though. Not looking forward to going back for a ZGS because it's extremely rare. There's no telling when I'm going to get it. And yeah, I'm already like 800, 900 KC there. Don't have it. It's like a 1 in 512. So, but if I do get it for a master step, then I might just hang on to that master clue and go get it because I want one anyway. So that just kind of gives me a reason to go and do it. Okay, so done a few more. Let's go see what's the timer looking like on these because I definitely don't want them to accidentally respawn. Okay, so they're actually getting kind of low. Like, I mean, that's like a third, that's like a fourth of the way down. 2,700 seconds left. Gonna drop this one. So I do think that it would be wise for me to stop off now and start doing these. I get like 6 or 7 on the ground here. I have an elite to do as well. See, there's the 2 that I dropped earlier, but see, they're ticking down. They're like half duration. So these will despawn whenever not juggled within the hour. So I'd rather just let's get this done now. I'll go SERP, DDS, teleports. Let's get like one of each of these jewelry. Let's see here. Dragon's Medallion. I know there's some that could use this as well. That's the teleport to Letia. We'll go Jagex Talisman, Royal Seed Pod, Book of the Dead, and then let's get the Mauritania legs, as always. It's a fan favorite. Dig Site Pendant as well. And I need my spade. Oh, Drayman Staff for sure. So there you go. Spade, Drayman Staff, and we can begin here. So okay, see that one's in the wildy, but I can actually do that one. Let's start with the lowest duration here, so that way it doesn't despawn. Dark Mage, Center to the Abyss. And the nice thing is, being in my Skatizo gear, I'm wearing pretty high magic defense, so if I do risk going in the wildy, I do have a pretty easy... Oops, that's the wrong teleport. I do have pretty decent chance to just resist a teleblock or something. Pretty much a teleblock is the only way that I would get caught because I would just instantly teleport if someone attacks me. So if they don't start off with a teleblock, then I'm pretty free because I'm just going to click my tele if I see a white dot. People don't really PK here anymore, fortunately, but I do still have to watch out. I remember I used to kill, I used to try to kill people doing rune crafting there, being this, juvenile that I was, and just get people's glories, because when you go through the abyss, you're always scald, and yeah, you don't risk anything, but the way people bank, because you get there from Edgeville, you just bank at Edgeville and then run north, right? This makes sense. So people always bank, but they charge glory, so they're always risking a glory. And back in the day, they used to be like 40, 50k. So it was actually like worth it to kill people and get money there. But yeah, so we'll be seshing out these clues. Bedabin Camp, that's the Calphite Fairy Ring. Believe, yeah. But yeah, if I ever get attacked in the wildy, I'm instantly teleporting. There's absolutely no shot that I wouldn't, and in the instance that I get teleblocked or whatever, I just have decent magic resist. See, my magic defense is plus 119, mostly because of Carol's top is ridiculous, so pretty resilient to it. I could gear out with better stuff like I could wear my Eternal Boots, an offhand that gives... What just happened? Oh, okay, I got hit by Desert. I like see myself scald, and I have a mini panic attack because I took damage in the random area of a desert. And I thought for a second I was on a PvP world getting hit by a PKer here. I'm literally not even joking. That's what I thought was happening. Just because it was because of the skull. Like, I'm just like associating the skull with player killing, I guess. But I got hit by the desert heat, of course. It was very interesting. But yeah, one of the neat things that I do have, and I can be proud of. Okay, see, this one's in the wildy. I do actually do this one. Rogue's General Store. It's not deep enough to where the seed pod won't work. Let's deposit our money just so that we're not more of a target. Deposit this. Okay, so let's grab actually. Wait, I thought I had. I definitely have 4 pairs of Eternal Boots. Okay, they're in here. I was like, okay, why don't... Because I know I got the 4th Eternal Crystal, and I was wondering where it was. Okay, it was in my stash. So I could wear that. I could wear some type of shield for defense. I guess this is the best magic defense. Let's actually take a super combat. Drink that for better DDS specs. Looks like I don't have the stash unit. Probably because I don't typically want to go in here. Actually, the reasoning for not having the stash unit is I don't want to like have to click and then re-put the things back. Like as soon as I get this clue step done, I'm teleporting out with the seed pod. So I don't want to actually put it back in. So I don't build clue stashes in the wildy. And I could go with a Fury as well, rather than my Torture. It's kind of sketchy because I'm Scald, actually. I'm kind of a target, but I think I'll be fine. We will need a stamina, so let's just get a stam real quick. Ferox. Okay, so if I see a white dot on the minimap out of the wall here, I am just insta-teleporting. Let's just go. No one here is a threat. Hovering over the seed pod. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, nice try. Okay. A little bit of a panic there. I kind of knew it was one of those accounts that I just saw, but can never be too safe. Don't worry, I'll teleport right back to Ferox, and when we don't see somebody literally chasing after us, we will be fine. So, okay, it's that same guy. Most of these people aren't even my combat level. We're actually just not going to care. We see that guy's level. He's not a PKer anyway. Actually, I can throw in this. Okay, that's actually somebody who could TV me. Now, I know he probably wasn't PKing, but I mean, I'm on a Scald. It's because I'm Scald. I'm a bit more of a target. I'm easier to spot. I don't want a Hot Worlds because this world is where all my clues are. I'm actually just going to run. I know he's like up here somewhere. He's probably doing some type of Slayer task. Yeah, he's killing bears. Okay, there's another white dot. Alright, I am just over panicking here. Just going to run straight up through this. Get my clue step done. I'm still like alting, I'm banking magic logs, I'm fletching on the side of my ults, so not fully paying attention. Okay, I don't see any white dots. Okay, let's get in here. Oh my god. This is sketchy. I gotta wear the 3 items, do the clue step, double agent. Can't use the stupid... Oh, yeah, you can, I think. You can use the spec orb now in the wildy, which is a nice little change. Talk to him. Get out of here. I can't use normal tellies. Okay. As you can tell, this is why I don't want to risk deep wildy. You see what's happening when I try to actually do something important in the wildy. I just become an absolute mess of panic. So yeah, I would prefer to keep my hardcore status. So let's bank those 3 items. We're gonna be stacking these clues. So let's get this. Okay, that's another wildy one. We're gonna restore our run and such. Actually, I have really, really nice tank gear currently because I'm extremely durable for teleblock potential. I have, equipping the mind shield and eternal boost. That's exactly what I was talking about. I'm at 154 magic defense. Pray this as well. This gives you a small bit of magic defense, even though it might not seem like it. What it does is it passively increases your basically your base magic level. So this is slightly amping my skill here of 99. It's not showing it like a potion boost does, but it does. And then that is adding to my overall magic defense, or the ability to, have somebody splash on me rather than successfully land a teleblock. So I will be doing that. These doors are open. I don't think they're naturally open, but that's fine because I'm looking. There's no white dots. Running through here. Okay, get the clue, and then I get out. It's that simple. So, seed pod, one of the best things I could have gotten on the account. Karazi jungle, sure. So, as always, we go get run, and we continue doing the clues. So, have a ton on the ground there at the Grand Exchange. So, I will be doing the rest of all these clues. I should probably pick up the elite clue as well. It's it's not the same type of clue, so I can carry multiple different kinds of clues, like an elite and a hard. So if I get like a Karazi jungle step on that elite at the same time that I do a hard, or rather I would just carry the elite and hope that I get a hard step, since I'm doing like 6 hards to the 1 elite. Eventually I'll do a hard step that's like close to the elite step, and then just do them at like the same time there. That would be ideal, but not too big of a deal. I'll probably pick it up next time I go back for another hard clue. You do need to, though, for elites, you need to have a ranged weapon on you, because you never know if you're going to get the Armadillion Guard or whatever, and he cannot be damaged with melee. So you need to have something that can hit him. It's like an Aviancy. It's flying in the air. How you can't kill Aviancies or Armadillo God Wars without a ranged or magic weapon. So I will need to probably pull out my blowpipe, probably the Avas, just to collect my darts. But yeah, let's stam up. And yeah, it's just going to be a huge clue grind, doing all these totems, doing all these clues. I originally wanted to just do the totems and get the loot, but something's telling me that I would be wasting a lot of valuable opportunity here to do a ton of hard clues if I just pass it up and waste them all, because I'll never get those totems back. This is from like basically the beginning of Slayer to 99 Slayer, so and a little bit past. I'm like a mil XP over as well. So I will most likely never be getting this quantity of totems unless I go for some crazy post 99 Slayer grind for total XP. But I wouldn't go for that unless I'm doing PVM, going for PVM drops like the Hydra's Claw and such. I'm only going for more Slayer right now because I'm doing Hydra. Once I get the Claw, we'll be done doing Slayer. So I won't be ever going for like post 99 again until I basically max. And there's so many like secondary, tertiary skills like agility, smithing. It's just ton of crafting. 79 herb, like herb lore is going to be crazy hard to get as well. So it makes no sense to go for post 99 XP when I'm not even max total, because the way the high scores will work, the high scores goes off of total level first. So even say I would get 200 mil XP in like every skill except for one, but that one skill was only level 98, like agility or something, then I would literally be lower rank on the high score than somebody who maxed. Just because of that one skill, even if they had only 13 mil total XP per skill. Just because that's how that one total level matters more than any XP after it. But then once you're equal in total XP, or rather total level, then it does scale by your total XP. So won't be going for post 99 until I max basically all four of the accounts, which again, that's a huge grind, so it's not going to be happening anytime soon. So, I don't need to worry about that too much. But I've discussed before, Slayer is one of those skills where, I don't mind going for like an insane post 99 grind, like going to 50 mil, 100 mil, working towards 200 mil, because it is just one of those skills where I get a huge bulk of total XP. I like to consider it like Winter Todd, right? Winter Todd, you get just such a ridiculously high amount of fire making XP per hour. So it's like one of the best things to go for post 99. If you're trying to get 200 mil, it'll be like the fastest 200 mil. So it ends up just being worth it to go for. If you're going to go for post max XP gains for the high scores, those faster XP per hour skills are what you want to go for first, right? Rather than agility, which is extremely slow XP. You might get 200 mil agility, but you're going to be passed up by someone who did 200 mil fire making at Winter Todd and like 100 mil fletching, because fletching is fast too. So even though you did a harder skill, you got slower XP per hour, so you're slowly behind in the race with time. So hey, another casket. But yeah, more to talk about that much later on. Let's pick up this elite. Ruins north of Hosidius Mine. Okay, I know where the Hosidius Mine is. Okay, we're starting to get low. Wow, actually 2,000 seconds left. Starting to get low. Luckily, RuneLight is timing these for me. Oh wow, I think that's literally the same step I just did. Yeah. So that's interesting. What did this one say? Hosidius? Okay, I can do that. See, I just got the same bookcase step back to back. Now, okay, that's the Wildy. That's a drop, but let's drop it somewhere where we forget about it. Drop it like here. Okay, this. I just was talking about. Oh god, it might be a Armadillo guard. Let's hope it's a Bandos one. I didn't bring. It is a Bandos one. Nice. Okay. I was just talking about how you could bring, if you could take more than one hard clue in your inventory at a time. I could have taken both of those, knowing that they're both that Shiloh bookcase village, or the Shiloh village bookcase step, and I could have done both of them at the same time. Just click the bookcase back and forth, back to back rather, and I would have gotten so many more steps done in one go. But they don't allow you to hold them in your inventory at the same time. So yeah, that's sort of where the state of things are right now. I guess I'll just take my crystal bow. Knight's not. Let's see here. Need to pick up another hard. Knight is not. Best way to get there will probably be lunar. Okay, so we'll do that. If we ever go to Knight is not on a hard clue step, then we'll do that simultaneously. So yeah, but I'm kind of gonna be wrapping the video up. It's just gonna be a ton of me doing clues, so obviously I can't record all of it. Um, oh God, what? Okay, but yeah, I will be stacking these caskets, and then I'll make a crazy video where I open them all and start doing masters. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow my other links in the description. I do sometimes stream on Kick and Twitch, so you could drop a follow to those channels and catch me live if you do see me live. Um, Most likely going to be wrapping up the video. I just remembered one thing that I was talking about earlier, and that was I said I had something to kind of brag about, and that was the fact that I have unlocked the Scorpia dances. What's it called? The music track. So that's entering Scorpia's lair, which again, you're running through scorpions, the hellhounds up there in the 55 world, and if you get attacked by a PKer, you're basically dead. So I did run there. I actually did it on all 4 of the accounts, so they can all do those hard steps where I have to go to Falador Park and play the Scorpia Dances track. So that's something that I like to my claim to fame, I guess. See, I just got the same Lumbort in a row. But yeah, if I ever get a hard clue that requires the Scorpia Dances, I can play it and then get the next clue step. Even though that's deep wildy, because it's deep wildy step, but it only requires you go there literally once, and then you permanently unlock it, and then now it's a safe step in Fally. So I went and did that long time ago, and now I have access to that clue step. So that's very nice. Lets me complete a huge portion of hard clues that I otherwise would not be able to. But yeah, it's just going to be me doing more of these clues. I'm going to finish this Skatizo, doing it as safe as possible, and dropping any deep ability steps. As you saw, I do steps that are below 30 wild. There's definitely a few that are within 30 wild that I will easily do. That is because I can kind of hover over my seed pod, and then if I see anybody try to PK, I will just insta-telly. And there's actually one that I do that is above 30 wild. It's because it's up, and no, actually no, I think it's like just at like 29 or 30 wild. It's the one with the Anko graveyard. I forget what it's called. It's not the Graveyard of Shadows. It's like the Forgotten Cemetery or something. I thought that one was too deep in the wildy, but it turns out I can just seed pod straight from that dig location. It's a Zambi wizard, so if it were above 30 wild, then getting into combat means I can't insta log out, and then above 30 wild means I can't insta telly. So those are the 2 scenarios I need to have happen. I need to either not be in combat above 30 wild, or it needs to be not above 30 wild. And then I will easily do it. So, but yeah, gonna be wrapping the video. Again, follow my links in the description, and comment and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like the content going on. Hopefully, in the near future, we'll have a master grand clue opening where I'll be opening all my caskets in a video, potentially streaming them as well. We'll see. And then working on master clue steps. So it will most likely involve me getting a master clue skill requirement that's like 90 agility or something, and then not being able to do it, and then me having to grind 90 agility before continuing. So most likely won't be done all at once, but I will open them until I get walled off with a master clue step that I need to grind for. So yeah, I'm gonna be calling it there on the recording, but definitely stick around, continue to stay tuned with the YouTube channel, and I do appreciate everybody who made it this far Have a good day, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.